You are tuned in to the Foxcast podcast, the one and only podcast devoted strictly to Ford-powered Fox bodies. What is happening, Foxcast? Welcome to another killer episode of the one and only podcast devoted strictly to Fox chassis Ford. This episode is brought to you by RiccardiRacing.com, RICCARDI Racing.com. Stop by and check them out for all your Go Fast Ford performance parts. All right, guys. This one I'm kind of rocking it out solo. Wanted to just kind of give you a status update on where we are at with the Foxcast. What's been going on? What have we been doing? What's the haps? All that good stuff. As everybody knows, we kind of wrapped up the first two major trips for Project Road Warrior. Went to the World Finals in Kentucky and went to Foxtoberfest down in Charlotte. Took the car, ran fantastic. Was really impressed with how well the car did. Overall, ran good. Great power. Had a lot of fun in the mountains. Around the North Carolina-Tennessee border. That was a lot of fun. Might possibly have exceeded the speed limit a few times, but we'll just keep that between us. But I did a few live streams on the way, and I got a bunch of questions, about people just wanting, what's the lowdown on driving a car like that? Does it suck? Do you like it? Is it fun? Oh, that's the coolest thing ever. Oh, you're crazy. Just trailer it. So, here's a little bit of my perspective. Now, granted, I've had 15 of these cars. I am not new to these, and when I was younger, I didn't have the luxury of a second or third, whatever vehicle to either tow it or, just take something, with an automatic transmission and big comfy seats and, that rides better and, you don't get out of it smelling like exhaust. However, that is totally not the point of Project Road Warrior. And I always get tongue-tied when I say that, so I apologize. Project Road Warrior is, in fact, to encourage everybody to get their Foxes out for a number of reasons. The first one being is that it seems like nobody drives them anymore. I swear to you, you do not see these cars out on the road. Every now and again, maybe on a Sunday, Saturday, weekend, you'll see them here and there. But, it's really unfortunate they don't get driven. And I know that a lot of them are in garages, like Road Warrior is right now. But I think it's a shame, and because we've gotten used to probably a lot of the creature comforts that newer cars have. And, we have to be honest, they are not the most comfortable car in the world to drive. They're just not. So, going to be totally real about that. It's not a secret. But, two of the biggest gripes, and I mentioned this on the live stream on the Facebook page, if you saw it, number one is no cup holders. And that blows because I don't leave the house that early in the morning without my coffee. So, I had a double folded microfiber towel right there between the seat and the e-brake. And, just had to just kind of be careful and not brake too hard, not accelerate too hard. And hope it didn't go flying through the car and stain my vintage 24-year-old carpet. So, whatever. It is what it is. And, we made it through just kind of being careful and trying to hold the cup and steer and shift and clutch and do all that stuff. It was fun. It was definitely kept me awake, so no problem dozing off. Second thing that I mentioned was the 92 is an airbag car, so I don't have any tilt wheel. And that does kind of blow. I'm average height, I'm 5'11", so I'm average height, so it's close, but especially when you're, kind of cruising for long periods of time, which we were, the high position that the steering wheel is in makes it kind of uncomfortable over long trips. So I found myself moving the arm around and, trying to find that comfortable spot because, in 9.5 hours, you're going to, it gets uncomfortable. It just, it's just part of it. The next big gripe I had was obviously the exhaust smell. You get used to it around town. It's not that bad because you don't spend a whole lot of time in it. But on a trip like that, the exhaust smell that, I don't exactly know how it comes in. The exhaust doesn't have any leaks, but it comes through regardless. And eventually, I started, towards the end of the trip, I started getting a headache. I mean, it was just overwhelming, even keeping the windows down. It kind of sucked. Um, and again, that's in excess, when we were going to Kentucky, which is only about a 3 hour drive, it wasn't an issue. But, over a trip that long, yeah, the exhaust coming in the car was rough. It kind of sucked. Now, I don't really know what the answer to that is. Maybe I need to put a Cat X pipe back on the car. I don't know. Really would prefer not to do that, but, maybe we'll just live with it and stop whining. I don't know. That's far down on the list. Next issue is we've still got a slight drivetrain vibration. I posted up a while back. I had some drive shaft bolts loose, tightened those up. I thought we were good to go, but it's not. So the plan is we need to replace it with aluminum drive shaft anyway. So we're going to start there and see if that takes care of everything. And it seems like it's driveline related. So I'm leaning towards the drive shaft. It is original. Had U-joints a while back, but you never know. So that's something I need to address. Next thing is I've got this weird, I don't know if it's because, I need some new weather strips around the driver door, but when I roll the window down, I get this like rubbing, squeaking, weird sound coming from around the hatch. I roll the window back up, gone. So that was really annoying, and especially on a nice day, you want to crank up the tunes and roll the windows down, and that squeak just drove me crazy. So I'm going to have to figure out something with that. Why is that? Why is it happening? I did spend a lot of time on the trip isolating things like that. Any type of noise from the rear end, testing that out. Is it do it when I go up a hill, down a hill, off the gas, on the gas, that type of stuff. So I had plenty of time to sit there and driver's seat diagnose the car. And luckily, there's not a whole lot going on. Last major thing, I've got a little bit of a noise coming from the passenger front wheel. It's very faint, may possibly be a wheel bearing. I put new brakes, bearings, everything on the car back when I first got it back in 2010. Good possibility they're going out. I don't know. I listened to the noise, got a little paranoid throughout the trip, and just trying to pay attention. It was probably my imagination. Seemed like it might have gotten a little more pronounced on the way back, but again, I'm sitting there listening and all paranoid about it. So, oh well, whatever. We'll just deal with it. I got plenty of time over the winter to take care of that. So, last and final thing, and this is something that I've alluded to before, and I've got this on the Project Fox page on the foxcast.com. Sunday on the way back, it was starting to warm up. It was low 80s, very, very low 80s, but I got stuck in Nashville traffic. I guess there was a Titans game in town or something like that. And so I had to cruise to a stop and sat in rush hour for quite a while, and the car started to heat back up. It didn't get hot, and now granted I wasn't in traffic for that long, but much longer, and I think the car would have gotten hot. So I've definitely got to address the cooling system. The radiator is stock, and I'm sure that's probably a lot of it because the car was making about 120 more horsepower than it did originally. So that's going to have to be taken care of. So I've got that as one of the first projects that we're going to do, and I'm going to have it all documented on the website and shoot some video action of it too, maybe some live stream. But either way, I'm going to cover all that for you guys. Make sure you get to check it out. Nothing groundbreaking, but just making those little upgrades. I am not planning to at this point go with an electric fan. And the reason being is because I've had no less than 3 on other cars fail on me, and they failed at the most inopportune times. And I don't know if it was the products that I was using, but the controllers always seemed to get hot and short out, or something went wrong. The motor crapped out on the fan, and I was dead in the water. So as much as I intend to be driving this car, and stop and go traffic and here and there and everywhere, it's going to be in all kind of conditions. And the most reliable thing that I can think of is stay with the stock clutch fan. I mean, the power loss is negligible, especially at speed. So I'm not really concerned about that. I'd like to clean up the engine bay a little bit and have the extra room in there, just because it does look cleaner and a little smoother with the electric fans in there. But at the same time, we're driving this car, so reliability is definitely paramount. And short of the fan exploding and breaking all the pieces, which I've never had happen, the stock style clutch fan is extremely reliable. So I think we're just going to go with that, roll with it, and get that squared away so we don't have any more issues, especially if we're going to be doing some, events when it's hotter, spring. And this summer, we're going to be going to some events. And if it was any hotter that day in Nashville, I probably would have started to overheat. And unfortunately, we probably would have had to pull over, and that would not have been fun. And would have tarnished the perfect record that Project Road Warrior has so far. God forbid that happen. Anyway, that's kind of the update on the trip. As far as Road Warrior goes, the Foxtoberfest show was absolutely a phenomenal event. I really hope everybody makes the trip and comes down next year for another record-breaking year. The final count that I saw on their page was 382, and that's damn impressive. That's almost, I believe, 70 more cars than they had last year. So talk about growth right there. I really don't think if you tried, you could put the new Edge or an SN95, something like that, show together, even 05 to 10, whatever. Put a show together like that and have that many cars. I just don't think you could do it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that just is very telling, and a lot of people took notice of the fact that the car count was so high. That it's such a huge event, and it does nothing but grow by 20, 30% every year, and it's not slowing down. And I have to admit, for the first time, I didn't know which way to go. It's kind of like being in the land of Oz. There's just fox bodies absolutely everywhere, every generation you can imagine. From the 79s to the 93s. They did a really good job. I think it was actually Southeastern Fox Bodies that decided to do it, but they segregated all the cars by Aero and by Forlight and Saline and Cobra, all that, and that made it even better. So you could catch every single 4i car by walking, the two aisles that they were on, and you could see all of them. It was just insane. You could catch all the Cobras. You could catch all the Salines. It was, I loved having it organized like that. I wish other shows were a little more organized like that, and probably going to be speaking to some contacts within some other organizations. Say, hey, look, this worked out really well, and it definitely wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be for them to pull it off. They had plenty of help, and the guys at Southeastern Fox Bodies really jumped out and made it happen, and very, very impressed with their organization skills. Fox Mustang Restoration did a heck of a job putting everything together. The trophies or the awards were phenomenal. The venue was great. There's plenty of room there. The only thing that sucked was we need more food trucks next year. Hint, hint. But other than that, I did not see all the cars. I tried my best because I wanted to see every single car, and I couldn't physically do it between meeting so many cool guys and seeing so many crazy cars that you had to just stand there and look at all the details. We got some feature cars shot. There was so much to do. I think that would be another thing. Maybe this event is ready to graduate to 2 days. Possible. Don't know. But I think that a one-day venue, you just don't get enough time to really see what all is there, because the size has exploded so much, and it's absolutely impressive, especially in the time frame that it's been in, that it's grown that much. Absolutely loved it, and I guarantee you we'll be there next year. switching gears a little bit, you've seen all the coverage of the NMRA, and I screw that up every time. Let me try this again. NMRA. See there, I got it right. World Finals, and that was another blast. Kind of sucked because of the rain, and just couldn't get all the racing action we wanted in. We're also a little bit screwed because of the lack of cell service and internet service there, but we still pulled it off. Huge thanks to Carlos Sobrino and Mike Galimi of the NMRA. I mean, just class act guys. All the guys in Coyote stock. We just had a heck of a time, and we're shooting for Foxcast TV, which we'll get into in a minute. But that was a killer event, and despite the rain, we raced late into the night. And, the NMRA World Finals, regardless of the weather, it never disappoints. The show was absolutely phenomenal. Tons and tons of cars. The midway was huge, as always. The drag racing was absolutely insane. They just keep getting faster. I was going to say I've never seen so many fast forwards in one place, but I've been going to the World Finals since '05, so I can't necessarily say that's true. But each year they get faster and they get larger in number, and it's a show like no other, that basically covers everything from the car show to the drag racing to the midway to the swap meet. Good Lord, the swap meet, parts for days. Got to meet a lot of cool people there, and know we'll be there next year. One of our goals is we're going to try to make the entire series. I'm not sure if it'll happen for the 2017 season, but that is definitely a goal for us, and hoping to make it happen. So, on that note, Foxcast TV, I am working feverishly on it, and it is a very, very long process. You would not believe the amount of time it takes to come up with about 40 minutes of mastered content. And I also had other projects going on, like the pages, had to get the Foxtoberfest video up. So it's not like it's my sole endeavor right now. Also had to get the trailer up before even that. So bear with me on that. That's a huge project, and I'm trying to make it as good as possible. And it just takes time. I don't want to release a product that I just don't think is very good, and I can't let you guys down. So that's gonna be that's one of the main things I'm working on. And if you did not see on the Facebook page, back it was just a few days ago, we put up a link to the Discovery Channel viewer relations, where you can email them and tell them you want Foxcast TV. We have submitted the show to the producer portal section of Discovery, and we need to give them a little prodding and say, hey, we want a show made by car guys, about car guys, for car guys. No people in skinny jeans drinking lattes, making a show about stuff they don't understand. No. That's not what we want. We don't want it ruined. We've seen so many good shows about cars and car guys that have been ruined by networks or Hollywood or something like that, because they simply do not understand and they misrepresent who we are and our culture. So our mission is to change that. And it's kind of a lofty goal, but you know what? So is building the number one foxbody community out there. And we've pretty much done that in less than a year, and that's all thanks to you guys. So that's Foxcast TV, and I'm working on it. Almost got my fingers down to the bone here, trying to master and edit and proof and everything on this. And so bear with me on that. Let's see, next on the agenda. So that pretty much is all I wanted to cover with everybody at this point in time. We've got several more guests lined up for the show, so you won't have to just sit here bored as crap and listen to me run my mouth about God knows what for God knows how long. So actually lots of cool guests coming on. If there is someone you want me to put on the spot and put on the show and drill them with all kinds of questions and suck out all kinds of information from them, shoot me an email, caleb@thefoxcast.com, and I will send them an email, and I will call them, and I will bother the snot out of them until they say, okay, yeah, fine, I'll come on the show. So it's not about who I want on the show, it's about who you want. So anybody that interests you, old racer, somebody from the back in the day in the magazine, doesn't matter who it is. If there's somebody you want to have on the show, and you're interested in hearing what they have to say, feel free, send me an email, and we'll get them on the show. So lots more of that coming. Got some great guests lined up. Promise that you'll enjoy them, get some good content out of those. Please, if you would, like, or not necessarily like, but subscribe and rate and review the show. That really helps in iTunes and on Stitcher to get the show a little bit more visibility and bring in other listeners. So that would be much appreciated if you could take 2 seconds and do that. I'll always have the show available on the website so you can listen there. But if you're an iPhone user, that little purple app on your phone that's native to the phone, that's the podcast app. If you are an Android user, download Stitcher Radio, free app out of the Play Store, and you can listen right there. So you can take it with you anywhere. I listen to podcasts in the car. I kind of prefer it over radio sometimes. So, it's good entertainment. Throw your earbuds in while you're mowing or, wrenching away on the car. And you can listen to yours truly. Just give you all this fabulous and wonderful entertainment that I provide. Let's see. Last and final thing. If you haven't checked us out on all the other pages, please stop by and follow us. Check us out. And as always, we are always looking for cars to feature. I know you don't necessarily may not think about it, but each and every week, we feature tons of cars, and that takes tons of work, and a lot of that work is just finding those cars. So get on Facebook and message us pictures of your cars. Give us some info. Tell us about it. Don't send me screenshots. Please, for God's sake, don't send me screenshots. I can't use them. Send me some good pictures of your car. It's about to get cold, so run out there and get some this weekend. Hopefully the weather's nice and get lots of good pictures over the winter. So, even though it's cold and all that crap outside, we'll still be able to keep the Foxbody show going through the winter. Didn't have any trouble last winter. Plenty of content to be had, but get some pictures. That's what everybody likes to see. Maybe you're bored looking at your car, but, we added 1,500 fans a week, and they want to see your car. So go get some pictures and share that. Anyway, questions, comments, feedback, ideas, send all of them to caleb@thefoxcast.com, or you can message us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Or you can just send us fill out the contact form on the website, whatever you want to do. Always looking for feedback on what everybody else wants to see, not what I want to see. So if you have any cool ideas within the realm of possibility, shoot me an email, shoot me a message. Feedback is what makes an organization great, and I can never get enough of it. If you hate it, tell me. If you love it, tell me. If it sucks, tell me. Doesn't matter. I just value all opinions and all feedback, because my ultimate goal is to make this the best it can be. So, once again, thank you, everybody supporting the Foxcast and Foxcast Media. Much appreciated. We'll never quit, so don't quit on us. We're going to make this happen, and, I'm going to keep killing it. So, long live the Foxbody, and we will be back with another episode of Foxcast Podcast. Thanks again for listening to the Foxcast Podcast. We are everywhere. Stop by and check us out. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and our website, thefoxcast.com, and we will talk to you next time on the Foxcast Podcast.